Today's going to be a potpourri of things. First, everyone talks about leaving a better planet for our children. Why doesn't anyone try to leave better children for our planet? I saw this help needed ad hung up at the college without anybody's name to it, and I thought I'd show you just in case you'll be able to help. It's a help needed ad. It says, several years ago, I met this family in Pakistan, from Pakistan. Now, I just got an email from them saying they're traveling around the States via the super cheap. They're camping out. They ask if I know anyone that had an extra room or a backyard that they could use for no more than 2 nights. Well, I was sure someone here in the office at the college could accommodate them. That's why I brought it home, thinking maybe you could. They have all their camping gear and require only a small space to set up. So I've attached a picture to help you understand and to confirm who this family is and the small space they'll need when they turn up. If you can help, let me know. Thanks in advance. I've learned some things in life. I've learned that no matter what happens, or how bad it seems today, life does go on, and it will be better tomorrow. I've learned that you can tell a lot about a person by the way he or she handles these 3 things: a rainy day, lost luggage, a tangled string of Christmas tree lights. I've learned that regardless of your relationship with your parents, you'll miss them when they're gone from your life. I've learned that making a living is not the same thing as making a life. I've learned that sometimes life gives you a second chance. I've learned that you shouldn't go through life with a catcher's mitt on both hands. You need to be able to throw some things back. I've learned that whenever I decide something with an open heart, I usually make the right decision. I've learned that even when I have pains, I don't need to be one. I've learned that every day you should reach out and touch someone. People love a warm hug or just a friendly pat on their back. Do that as soon as we're allowed to do that again after this COVID-19 virus. I've learned that I still have quite a bit to learn. And I've learned that people will forget what you said. They will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. So, what would you do if someone put $86,400 in your bank account every single day and told you that whatever you didn't spend that day would disappear? There's no rollover. What would you do with $86,400 a day? No rollover. Well, you've got 86,400 seconds each and every day. You have them to spend. How will you spend the seconds that you're given today? I hope you don't waste them. Now I want to read to you a letter that was sent by a local pastor and pianist to a church pastor about his experience at their church. I want you to think about this. There is a difference between what we respect and what we worship. And this letter lays it out in good form, and I hope you'll give it some thought. Dear Pastor, I was glad to say yes when I was asked to preach at your church one time during the summer of 2008. I was also glad that I could say yes to playing the piano for a service on a Sunday this past August 2009. Both services were held in the lower level of your church, where the small congregation could gather in a space that could easily be cooled by air conditioners, rather than upstairs in the large sanctuary that would take a lot more energy and electricity and effort to cool. This past Sunday, when I had again agreed to play the piano for the worship service, the service was held upstairs in the sanctuary, and upon walking into that sanctuary, I almost walked out. To me, a church sanctuary is a place where people come to find, to discover, to embrace God in worship. Therefore, for instance, I totally dislike the need people feel these days to clap after someone sings a good solo or after the choir or the organist perform a wonderful piece. For me, a church sanctuary is where I go to worship God, not a place where the focus is put on individual talent. I believe that what is done in church should be for the glory of God, not for the glory of people. This incessant need to applaud the efforts of individuals while we are to be worshiping God is something that's truly distasteful to me. Knowing how I feel about the distraction that comes from recognizing individuals during the worship hour, you can imagine how I felt when saying the United States flag in your sanctuary. Why, in a place where people come to worship God, why would you have the political symbol of our country? Why would a church create divided loyalties in a sanctuary? God and the flag are not the same. From my position on the piano bench, the flag was clearly visible to me out of the corner of my eye. And as you spoke about the courage of Esther, I thought about standing up during the service to make a courageous statement that I simply could not worship God while my loyalties were divided as our nation's flag flew right beside me. God is so very much more than our country and all the best that it stands for. A look at any of the Hubble telescope pictures easily confirms this for me as I see pictures of the heavens. Well, just as I do not want to have my time of worship interrupted by the social need to acknowledge people for their talent, instead of understanding that they are giving of themselves to help with the worship, they're giving of themselves to help with their worship of God. So I do not want patriotism, a human-created feeling, to get in the way when I am worshiping God. I have ample opportunity, many opportunities, to show respect and pride in my country. Sunday morning, in a church sanctuary, when I am trying to be in communion with God, is not one of those times. I am therefore unable to assist you in the pulpit or at the piano, as long as your congregation has, in its church sanctuary, the human symbol of our nation's flag, appearing to be the equivalent of the symbol of Christ on the cross. One we worship, the other we respect. And there is a proper time for both. Sincerely, and then this pastor signed their name. So how do you respond to that? Is the symbol of a nation state appropriate to show in a sanctuary where people come to worship the Creator of all? our sustainer. Is it appropriate? Why would you want to divide loyalties? If you want to respect the flag, go to a park, go to a community building, go to an AMVETS, Legion Hall, many, many places to respect the flag. Go to a sporting event. I understand what that pastor was saying. Now, I don't think I've read this in class, but I'm not quite sure. So I'm going to go to the second video for today to make sure that YouTube will take it.